Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeremy Donson here with e7musicschool.com, and today we're going to be doing Brain Stew by Green Day. I love playing the song, super fun, and as always, please do be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to put your comments below. I love hearing your feedback and thoughts and how you're doing on your drumming journey. So without any further ado, let's get started. All right, we're going to start at 30 seconds in the song. Here we go.
No rest for concepts in my mind. On my own, here we go. Lights still light, they're gonna bleed. Right up in bullshit on my skull. Mouth dry, face is numb. Something's spun out in my room. On my own, here we go.
Okay. All right. Now, just so you know, when he gets into the chorus is going to be the same thing that I'm about to show you, but it's heavy hi-hat. It's really, the hi-hats are rattling against each other. It's very heavy hi-hat, same beat. The only difference is at the very end, he's going to crash twice. Crash, crash. And if you listen to that, you'll hear that at the end of the chorus. All right. So let's get into how to play this. Here we go. All right, so the beat itself, you have quarter note hi-hats here, which creates bass independence, right? So oftentimes when I have taught this song to students in the past, it's very common that they will do something along the lines of this. They'll hit both basses with the hi-hat. You don't want to do that because the second bass is independent. It's hit by itself. So the beat is going to go like this. Bass, bass, and... So that second bass is by itself. Bass and hi-hat together, bass by itself, like so. Okay? And then after you do that, it's hi-hat by itself, or as I like to call it, and. Bass, bass, and, snare, and. Bass, bass, and, snare, and. Bass, bass, and, snare, and. Right, so one thing that's very, very helpful in not doing this is if you go away from the hi-hat on the second bass, it's going to be less tempting to kick it or to hit it when you're not supposed to. So in other words, when you go bass and then the second bass you go away from it, that's going to be much, much easier to make sure that you don't hit it the second time on that second bass drum. So it's bass, bass, and, or down, up, and then down again. Down, up, down. Down, up, down, like so, right? Very, very helpful to do that. So I would recommend if you have trouble with that bass independence, just start with your hi-hat doing this. The more motion you have here, the better. So you want nice and high upstrokes. And once you get into the rhythm of that, just think in your head, bass, bass, and. Bass, bass, and. Bass, bass, and. And when you're comfortable, throw it in there. So that way, this doesn't change. You don't go like bass, oh, I almost hit, but I didn't. It helps you avoid that, right? All right, so once you're comfortable with that, then you put the rest together. So we have bass, bass, and, snare, and. So the rest of it is snare and hi-hat together, and then hi-hat by itself, right? So the whole beat is this. Right? And you're going to do that 3 times, and then the 4th time is a little different, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Every single set, let's say, that you do, so you do those 3 measures, and then the 4th measure I'm about to show you, that's 1 set. So every time you do a set, you're going to crash at the beginning. So instead of hitting the hi-hat with that, you're going to go crash with the first bass drum. So it's going to go bass, bass, and snare, and bass, bass, and snare, and bass, bass, and snare, and bass, bass, and snare, bass, and start over. So every time you finish those 4 measures, you're going to do a crash at the end every time, right? Okay, so now the fourth measure, how do we play that? So what we do here is we go bass, bass, and like we did before, bass, bass, and snare, bass, and. So it kind of switches. It's bass, bass, and then you substitute a bass with the snare. That's all you're doing. So it's bass, bass, and snare, bass, and then crash like this. Bass, bass, and snare, bass, and crash, right? Okay, just like that. So a little slower. It's bass, bass, and like we did before. And then it's the same thing, but you do snare instead of bass. Snare, bass, and, right? Snare, bass, and then crash with the bass and start it over. So if we were to do, let's say, 2 sets of 4 measures here, it would sound like this. Ready? Go. 1, 2. Right? And that is the beat for the majority of the song. Again, the chorus, you're going to do heavier hi-hat, and you're going to have 2 crashes at the end. I'll go ahead and show you that. So at the end of the chorus, it's going to go bass, bass, end, snare, bass, end, crash, crash, and then you go back to it. Right? And then you go back into the beat as normal. Largely, there's not really much of anything different majorly until towards the end of the song. Then he really gets into it. So, yeah, so that's how we're going to play most of Brain Stew. I hope this was very helpful for you. And for those of you who do not know, if you want extra help with this, you can always go to e7musicschool.com and schedule your own free live consultation lesson with me. We can go over whatever you want. But also, this is going to have a full song version video of this song, among others that I have posted recently, where I break down the entire song. So if you want the entire song, it's a very inexpensive monthly membership, and you would have access to all my videos. So be sure to be checking out E7 Music School for that. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Be sure to have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. See you next time.